Now, Shawnee, you teased it very ably in the first segment that there's big news coming out of the West Tigers. Would you like to break the news?
Yeah, well, I was going to throw it to Tourist because he's just jumping out of his skin with this news. I think it is big news, but they've announced their captains, co-captains, Barney, probably no shock. So West Tigers delighted to announce that Api Coruscant and Jarome Luai have been named captains for the 2025 NRL season. So Coruscant, he's already been captain for the past 2 years. But he expressed his delight at now having former teammate alongside him in Luai. He said, "It's a privilege to captain this club, and now to share that role with Jarome is really exciting." I mean, no real shocks there. It's big news, but it's not surprising news.
No.
I guess, is the difference there.
I wouldn't have thought so. I mean, it seems to be the go now that all these sides have to have more than one captain. There's not many one-captain sides in the NRL anymore. I do like the fact now you can just turn up to a club and be made captain straight away.
Yeah.
That seems like something that wouldn't have happened years gone past.
Yeah, gone are the days of sort of, earning your stripes at a club and being a real clubman for a few years before getting the nod. But yeah, no brainer for me.
No. Then Coruscant he expressed his delight too. It's that's a lovely way to describe Api. I've never thought of him as a delight expressing kind of guy, but because he's pretty low key, isn't he?
He's very low key. And I'm sure Jerome's just happy to have something, or that someone is just expressing their delight at him, because usually he's copping, all sorts of negative criticism. It's nice to finally be positive.
What do you see that leadership style between the two of them as being? Because Api strikes me as a good time, and Jarome strikes me as a guy he's got a point to prove, but also has a bit of a lair side.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I don't know who's going to be, because. Yeah, Jerome's definitely got the lairiness to him. Api's probably a bit more level-headed. I'd say he might take the reins as maybe approaching a referee to have a conversation. Not sure I'd probably unleash Jarome in the heat of the moment to have a chat to a ref, would you? That could really end poorly.
No, I do think his halftime speech, his before the game speech, and we know how well he makes a speech. Mate, it's going to be...
There's some audio there, Tourists. Get working.
If I'm a West Tigers player and I hear, sorry for cussing, glory to God, word up, let's get out there.
You're ready to run through a brick wall, aren't you?
I am. I'm ready to make a difference this season.
Which means now there's a trend starting to appear in the NRL. It's not just teams ransacking the Panthers squad to take their players. They're making him all captain basically as well.
Yeah.
So now we've got these two. Coruscant was obviously already captain, but he's joined with Luai. Stephen Crichton at the Bulldogs now. Isaiah Yeo, he captained the Kangaroos. We were having a discussion about it because I thought he was captain of the Blues, but as well. But the Tourist was saying Jakey Team, that might have been a co-captaincy sort of arrangement as well. And we think. We might actually ask this when we cross the ditch.
Oh, yeah.
To Bevan Guy, will James Fisher-Harris be the captain of the Wars now that Tohu Harris has retired?
He strikes me as a guy who, if you're going to replace Tohu Harris's gravitas, James Fisher-Harris seems to have a bit of that about him. Like, he's a guy...
Outstanding word.
He wouldn't... Yeah, thank you.
Outstanding word.
Remember, I was extending my vocabulary. That's the other...
That's what you were doing. That's right.
The other New Year's resolution. And going well. But he has that level of, like, if he's... Like, he doesn't need to say, glory to God, sorry for cussing, word up.
Doesn't need to say anything.
No.
Just look at you.
His halftime speech can be a halftime stare, and oh God, boys, we're going to pull our socks up here. Let's get out there. So I think he's not a bad one.
Yeah.
What about next Panther to become a captain, either in Penrith or elsewhere?
Like this might be one for the listeners out there. 0457 736 736, because there's a few probably natural leaders. Would it be, Dylan Edwards? We've got a little list here in front of us. Dylan Edwards. What about Liam Martin? Would you have a Liam Martin?
Liam Martin. He's...
as a captain? Or is he a little bit too... Are the eyes spinning a little bit too quickly in his head?
He's my Mad Monday captain. I'll give him that. Because I reckon he's got a little bit of the...
Apparently a real pest around the sheds from all reports as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. He's got a bit about him. I kind of like him.
Well, I don't see... When you see him in the media, he's pretty reserved, very low-key. He's a sort of humble country sort of kid. I don't get that real pest around the lads, but his name is always, if not number one, when they do the sort of interviews of the players, which I'm sure you would have done a few in the past. His name is always at the very top of the list.
I fell in love with him when he first played Origin, and his mum was asked. Remember, I don't know if you remember, Munster got penalised for kicking him. Kicking at him in a tackle, sort of threw his foot out and kicked at him.
Yes,
in a tackle, and his mum was asked about it afterwards, and she basically just put it on him. She said, "Well, I thought he must have done something because let's be honest, he can be a bit of a grub." And I'm like, "That's coming from your mum. This kid's got character.
Yeah.
I like him."
I wonder what has happened in the backyard. For your own mum to say that. Like, that could be absolutely anything.
Mate, brothers have come in with boot marks on their foreheads.
Yeah, maybe some scratching, maybe the odd squirrel grip. Maybe that's real grub sort of behaviour. Little twist from behind.
Yeah, maybe some teeth marks in an elbow.
Teeth biting. So keep the text coming through. It's lit up now. If you any West Tigers fans out there, what do you think of the announcement? Again, I'm not too shocked. I'm not sure any Tigers fans will be, but you're happy, not happy. 0457 736 736. And maybe if you were to pick your next Panthers captain, who would it be?
Who would it be?
Not necessarily at the Panthers either.
Yeah,
because there's a fair old chance they're going to get rated again come next year when more players come out of or come off deals, come out of contract.
It's become somewhat of a leadership academy out there. The way
it has.
Looking, isn't it?
It has been. Other news as well. Newcastle Knights have extended Fletcher Sharpe.
Yeah, this is great news, mate. We actually
straight to the Newcastle man in the building here.
Yeah, mate. Philby and I actually interviewed him on the run home, I think, last week. And, look, Cessnock Goanna, he still lives in Cessnock with his parents, so and obviously has a big future. Rumours floating around that he has been training in the halves during this preseason. So, and he told us he'd played a little, I think at 5'8" during that interview as a younger bloke. So, potentially, I mean, obviously, fullback seems to be his.
Can you confirm a source for these?
The rumours.
Is it you?
No. The rumours were. I think it turned up in the. It turned up in one of the papers recently. Because once again, Philby sort of. We put it to him. We said, "Who's training in the halves?" And would you? He said, "Oh, I played in the halves previously." And then a few days later, there was a little bit of online scuttlebutt that apparently, I think it might have been the Herald's reporters may have had their spies down at training, said he might have been training in the halves. So, Philby, if you're listening, text in, let us know where you heard that. But yeah, good news. I think Fletcher Sharpe. I mean, he fits. If there's one thing we know is Newcastle does well when they've got Cessnock Goannas. Coming through. So.
You need a big goanna in the side to make it worth your while. Maybe some phone calls after the break as well. 1300 01 1170. Have your say on the West Tigers announcement. Who's the next captain to come out of Penrith? Maybe have we got time for that Fletcher Sharpe audio? Actually, tourists, let's play now because this is what Fletcher Sharpe had to say on playing for his boyhood club, the Goannas.
Yeah, so like I said, I've been at the club since I started playing footy really, since the rep kind of kicked off. Been lucky enough to hang around and kind of have a lot of great people to mentor me along the way, which I think kind of put me in a good stead for the middle of last year where I got my chance in the NRL. It was pretty crazy, something you I guess dream about for your whole life, and then it kind of happens pretty quick. You don't have much time to reflect about it, but I think I had a good bit of time over the break to kind of sit back and look at what I did, and it was something pretty special.
There's a great Fletcher Sharpe. Saw a bit of him at the back end last year. He's going to be a gun, it looks it.
Yeah.
Hey, can I ask you this, Barney? There's a few players coming off contract at the Knights in 2025. This is the list of names. Jaden Brayley, Matt Croker, Adam Elliott, Jackson Hastings, always going to be a talking point.
Yep.
Big Jack Hetherington, Brody Jones, Riley Jones, Kai Pearce-Paul, and Will Price. Can I ask you, who's at the top of that list for you as a priority to keep?
Look, first off, it's a scary list. But I think at this point, when you look at Newcastle's backline, that's very strong. So I don't know. I think you've got to make your priority that you need, apart from just getting a halves combination, a consistent halves combination, I think we need a strong engine room. So I'm probably Matt Croker's. I'm making a priority on that. I think he's
KPP.
KPP's another
Love an
one.
acronym.
Yeah, I do like Kai Pearce-Paul. And you know what? And if he's going to go to the halves, I even reckon Will Price is probably a good shout.
You're still here? We'll see more on the Joel and Fletch socials and catch us live on SEN Radio. Because if you don't, you're an A grade. But if you do, you're the absolute Mickey.